Hello everybody! Today I am showing you guys how to use clip-in extensions, and I know a lot of you guys have asked me if you can use extensions with vintage hairstyles, and you totally can with a lot of them. It just depends on where you place them and how you part your hair and what style you're doing. So today I am using these Irresistible Me clip-in hair extensions, and you can check out their website. They've got all kinds of different extensions. You can choose whatever length you want, you can choose whatever thickness you want, and also they've got a good selection of colors. And as you can see, this is just one of their stock colors, and it almost matches my hair perfectly, the red part on the top. So I thought these would be perfect to kind of show you guys, and then at the end, after I do the extensions, I'm going to show you how to use the triple barrel waver, this bad boy, that I did a review on because a lot of you guys wanted to know how it actually worked. So I'm going to do it on my long, luxurious hair once my extensions are in. So let's get started. Okay, so first, just a couple of things about extensions when you guys are trying to choose them. These ones are 20 inches long. As you can see, they're pretty long. This is how long my hair is right now without the extensions. So depending on how long you want your hair, I'm not a huge fan when girls have really short hair of doing really long extensions, because then it gives you that kind of like a weird mullet look. If you look at Paris Hilton in the old days, she kind of had those weird extensions and really short hair, and I'm not a fan of it, but it just depends on what style you want. I usually think that extensions should only be maybe 3 or 4 inches longer than your natural hair if you want them to look really natural, but it also depends on the extensions. Obviously, if you have sewn-in extensions, they're going to look more natural than the clip-ins. The other thing too is get extensions that are real hair, because you are going to want to style that hair. If you want to flat iron or curl or do any heat styling, if you get fake hair, it's going to melt, and odds are it's going to melt into your real hair, and that is a bad situation. So these extensions actually come in different sizes. So this is the biggest size, and this is the one that's going to go across the whole back of your head, and it's 3 clips wide. Then you have these ones that are also 3 clips wide, but they're a little bit shorter. There's 2 of those. And then you have the double clips, which are also a little bit shorter, and these will just be alternated around your head. And then you have 2 of the single clips. And these are good for the fronts, to kind of hide underneath your hair so you don't see the tracks. The most important thing when you're putting these in is that you're hiding your tracks. The other thing too is that if you're going to tease your hair, just make sure that when it separates, you're not seeing the, I guess they're not tracks, they're wefts, because these are clip-ins. But anyways, you just don't want to see them, because everybody knows how ghetto fabulous or ghetto unfabulous that looks. First things first, you want to brush your hair, and I actually blow dried my hair straight because the tracks are straight, so I want to just make sure that they all kind of lay smoothly, and the best way to do that is if they are both the same texture. So your first one is going to go towards the nape of your neck, and you just want to make sure there's enough hair for it to grip onto, and then just pin up the rest of your hair. I'm just using one of these clips. Give it a good clip. Now, as you can see, these are little clips, and they're kind of tricky if you don't realize they snap. So once they unsnap, the little teeth kind of pop out, and that's what you want to stick into the hair and then close it shut. They're kind of like these little guys. If you use these snaps, it's the same idea where it opens and then it snaps closed on your hair. So you just want to unsnap all 3 of those little snappies and lay it against your hair, and as close to the root as you can, just stick the extension down and then close the little snapper. Make sure it's got some hair to grip onto, because these things actually do grip really well. You just have to make sure that they're actually in the hair. So make sure it's anchored nice and tight. And then you're just going to separate about 1/4 of an inch of hair on top of that, and do the same thing with another of the medium-sized 3 clip extensions. And now you're going to take your hair and part it from just at the top of your ears. And this is going to be the widest part of your head where you're going to put the extensions in. So you're going to use the big boy for this one. Be sure also when you're clipping in that you're not clipping into the hair that's up here, because then when you pull that hair down, your extension's going to fold over backwards. It's going to be really weird. So you basically have all of your under layers of hair clipped in. As you can see, this is how long it is now. And you can also see that I have ombre hair, so it doesn't look quite as natural as it would if it just matched the red at the top. But it is what it is. You just work with the hair that you got. You can ombre them because they're real hair. You can dye them if you want, so you can dye them to match your hair color perfectly if you need to. So now I'm going to just part about an inch above that last extension. And this is where it gets tricky, because if you just clip around the back, you are going to have a sweet mullet. So you want to make sure that you clip some in the front as well. So I'm going to do these ones on the side, and make sure you're about a ½ inch away from the front of your hairline. Otherwise, like I said, you're going to see them from the front and it's going to look real not awesome. Now I like these individually sized, the doubles, because they're good for you girls with different head shapes, because some people have, you know, bigger or smaller heads. So you can kind of customize them to the size of your head. Make sure the same thing on this side, that it's not too close to the edge of your hairline. And as you can see, my hair has some weird kinks and waves in it, but as soon as we start curling it, that will disappear and you won't notice as much the difference in the hair. And then you're going to want to go just a little bit above that. And this is going to be your last row of extensions. So these ones, you're going to clip near the front, not too close though. So these ones I'm only going to do on the sides and not in the back. Because if you start to keep doing them in the back, once you've gotten up to here, you're going to see through them because you don't have that much hair on the top of the crown of your head to cover them. Plus they're going to kind of even out all of the heaviness that you have underneath. You can add more on the top if you want. Just make sure you don't put them too far up, because the farther up you put them on your head, the harder they're going to be to cover. So now you are left with these little singles, and I'm not going to use any over here because I side part my hair, but as you can see I'm a little mullety on this side because I don't have anything up here. So I'm just going to part underneath my bangs. Be sure that you hide this one really well, but since it's so small it's going to be a lot easier to hide, and it's going to give you just a little bit extra in that front. So like I said, you're not mullety. And yes, mullety also is a word. Just be sure to hide it under your bangs. Dun, da, da. There you go. So that gives you a little bit more thickness in the front. So there you go. All of them are in. Now you can just brush your hair. Just be sure that when you're brushing it, you don't grab onto the roots of those extensions. And like I said, I know it looks a little strange because I have ombre hair, but if my hair was all the same color, it would look pretty darn natural, especially once you start curling it. Okay, so with the triple barrel waver, I'm going to section my hair just kind of like I sectioned it to put in the extensions, because I'm going to curl section by section. Holy cow, my hair is so thick now. Hopefully this little clip will hold it up. Whew, close. Okay, so section by section, you are going to take your hair, give it a little comb, and be gentle with these extensions. You don't want to pull them out. Then you take your waver, which I still have the tag on it because this thing needs to be cut. Oh, I have scissors right here. Look at that. Bing. Okay, so you take your waver and your combed hair and make sure the hair is nice and flat. and just stick your hair right in there. Like it's nice and hot, just kind of the same amount of time that your regular curling iron goes. And I put this all the way up to 220 because I feel like it gives you a better curl, but if your hair is sensitive, you can keep it a little lower. And then just move it down to the next, like you can kind of feel as you move it down to the hair, it catches where the first roll was, so you can just keep doing that all the way down. So once you're all the way down, you have this kind of crimped look. Now that's why I like this triple barrel for finger waves, because it gives you that crimped look, which I will do in another tutorial. But for right now, I'm just kind of showing you how to use it and how to incorporate it into your extensions. So you're going to keep doing that over your entire head, and now we will have our fun musical montage.
Not relenting here or stopping the fight. We feel the obligation, sing it aloud. Here comes the refrain.
Okay, so I am on my last layer of hair. And I feel like the key with this waver to get the perfect amount of wave is to get the right amount of hair. You can't have too little. If you have too little, it's just a straight crimp. And if you have too much, it doesn't set. So just find out what's right for you. Now when you get to the top, I don't like having a crimp in the top, so I always put it that direction so that it doesn't crimp the hair down. And I like to go as far down on the ends as I can, just so I don't have weird sticky out pieces. Man, I'm making up all kinds of words in this video. Pay attention, these words are going to be the next big thing. So now you are done with your curling and you have this amazing head of mermaid hair. It's almost too long for me to even show you guys, but let me get my chair out of the way. This is what you've got when you're finished. And you can kind of separate it, make sure that your hair blends with your extensions. But it's so long and pretty, and like I said, it's very mermaidy. Now from here, if you want to, you can, tease a little bit, give it a little volume. You can tie it into a little ponytail, you can put it on the side. You can really do whatever you want with it. One thing that I suggest with the triple barrel waver is to not do your bangs, because they will look crazy. Mostly because when you do this with really, really short hair, you're going to get weird sticky outy pieces. So the odds are if you have short bangs like mine, you'll have like, bink, that thing just like sticking straight out in the air. So I keep my bangs down. You can really do it any way you want. You can also do this on no bangs as well. But I hope you guys like this look. Let me know what you think. Be sure to check out Irresistible Me extensions and the triple barrel waver that I already did a review on. And good luck with your vintage styles with extensions, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.
Well, my red-headed woman, I said now sugar and spice and everything nice.